Betting in the Break, the first live edition here on Winners and Winers, and it will be on other networks, and there's other news to come about some additional network stuff that will be happening with Winners and Winers, but can't release any of that yet. We'll wait until I'm given the word that we can. But the whole point of this show is if you've ever been in a sports book, when the late afternoon games finish and there's that half an hour, 45 minutes before the night games start, you know, the guys going to the ATM lost and the guys going to the window won. And either you're going to the ATM and you're going to try to get even in the late games, or you're going to the window and you're going to roll that money over. Everybody says, yeah, you know what? If I win the afternoon games, I'm done. Oh, BS. That's not what anybody does. They put the, you know, and your opportunity is the late games give you a chance to get even. They also give you a chance to grow your bankroll. And a guy that knows something or more about growing bankrolls joins us here. David Delano, you've been on fire, man. I mean, it doesn't matter what sport, basketball, college, NBA. About the only thing I don't see you pick is hockey. And yet you are consistently on top of the board. What's your secret, man? Magic 8 Ball?
I actually did pretty good in hockey this year, but really just putting in a lot of time watching the games and things like that. Even this next week's games coming up for college football, I think on this Thursday and Friday slate, we've got a little over 25 games. I mean, I'm going to go through each one of them, probably make a small write-up for myself, pick a side in total for it. I won't bet all those games. Most people will never see those, but I'm going to see which games I have strong opinions on. And I try to do that before I see what everybody else is saying, because sometimes if you start looking at other people's opinions and you start worrying about where the money's going, it can start to talk you into different directions. So you want to make sure that you have an opinion for yourself first, and then I'll look at some of that other stuff. But especially early on in the season, just, you know, nothing's guaranteed, and I'm just put the work in, and so far it's just been a good year for me.
So Christian Giordani joins us as well. He is our stat and sabermetrics guy, Christian. So are you excited that we are back with college football, at least real games?
Oh, yes. I am so excited. You know, football season, you know, when it's not here, you know, I feel like a widower, you know, a part of me's missing. So I'm so excited going ahead.
And by the way, we're going to hear a lot about the Rams on the show because Christian is a giant Rams fan. So we're going to hear all about them. All right. So the first game today, I'm wearing the green in honor of the fact that the kickoff game of the college football season was over in the land of the green, land of my ancestors, Ireland. And of course, this was a huge upset. Number 10 in the nation goes down. Florida State Seminoles, who got the big snub last year, went 13-0, won the ACC, were not invited to the big dance, big controversy. So the saying was, oh, they're going to have a chip on their shoulder. They're going to come out and they're going to be on fire. And David, not so much.
Yeah, it wasn't really the most exciting game, but I mean, Georgia Tech just did the simple things better. It really was just one of those cases. Both teams protected the football. Georgia Tech ran the ball right at them, ran the ball much better than Florida State, about 2 yards per carry more. And DJ Ugale, he was a game manager in a situation where they needed a little bit more than a game manager. So,
well, he had a couple of spectacular throws, but it was like lightning striking. Like you said, Georgia Tech played defense, grounded out in the running game. And by the way, that was my prediction, was Georgia Tech would at least cover, and I also said potentially win the game. And what I had was Georgia Tech had its first winning season since 2018 last year. This team has experience, talent, depth, and they've got a couple of good recruiting classes. Superstar QB Haynes King's back, 2,900 yards, 27 touchdowns, ran for 737 yards and 10 scores last year. Solid wideout group, no superstars, and the run game should be great, and the team can play defense, and defense travels. So that was my And with Florida State, I just said too many changes, too many offensive line changes, brand new quarterback, brand new coordinators. Whereas Georgia Tech had continuity. First game of the season, you're playing somewhere unfamiliar, and Georgia Tech bit them. And I believe that Georgia Tech winning paid like 6-1 because they were a -10.5. I don't remember exactly what the money line was, but if you took my advice, you won in that earlier game. Now, not so much on the one that's going on now, but what were your thoughts on the early game?
With the Georgia Tech and Florida State?
Georgia Tech and Florida State.
Yeah. Georgia Tech ran the ball, right at them. DJ Hughley, like I said, he made some nice plays, but overall, it just wasn't enough. One thing to kind of point out, if you see Lou looking around and me looking around too at the time of recording this right now, I'm showing
that's because Montana State is driving on New Mexico.
Yeah, I'm showing 30.
They're down 3
with about 34 seconds left. This will be another one that could possibly pay out a lot, but it looks like I'm not sure if your stream's ahead of mine, but Montana State's at about the 2-yard line now.
Yeah, right on there.
I did make a personal.
It's gonna be a great finish.
Yeah, we talked about
you and I were on opposite sides in this one. I was minus the points with, even though it was a huge amount of points for a team from a lower league. I couldn't bring myself to even take the points with the Lobos because they've just been so awful for so long. But there's no way that even if they come back and win, that they're going to cover the number here with the Bobcats. And they just scored a touchdown. Yeah, they just scored a touchdown, so now they're up 4.
But it looks like they're not going to cover. That's going to be kick the extra point. They'll be up 4. I guess even if you get a fumble on the kickoff, run back, they still Montana State still won't cover. Yeah, I just thought
that would be a bad beat. That would be a bad beat right there if that happened.
Yeah, when I went from
anyway, this is the way it's going to be though on this show. Is that there are going to be some late games that are still finishing. There may be some games that are at weird times. And so, yeah, we'll be looking around, looking at the games that are finishing out. So let's talk about the late games. That's what everybody's tuning in for. I can't give a pick on SMU Nevada because I have one behind the paywall. So if you want my pick, which, by the way, I'm extremely confident in, you will have to pay for that one over at Winners and Winers. Look up Loud Esmond in the expert picks. David, I believe you also have a pay-for pick on this game and can't give out, but we can talk about our reasoning on where we're going, right?
Yeah, so my strongest play of the week is on that game with Nevada and SMU. I did make another, like I said, side-to-side play personally on New Mexico, and then I also, in the later night game, when we get to that one, I have a play in that one as well with the Hawaii and Delaware State game. But I think this SMU team, I know a lot of people are looking at the over in this one I've been seeing, but it'll be interesting because that SMU, they're high-flying offense, but that defense is a lot better than people expect. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in that one tonight.
Well, SMU returns 7 starters on offense, 6 on defense. The team went 10-3 last year. They lost to Boston College in the bowl game, but I think that was a lot of guys sitting out that were looking at the NFL draft. The team was top 10 in NCAA scoring. They were nearly 40 points per game, and they get their veteran quarterback back. Of course, missed the last 2 games of the year because he broke his leg. And I expect the offense to pick up right where it left off. Nevada's gone 4-20 over the last 2 seasons. They got a new coach, new regime, Jeff Choate. I think he's going to need some time to rebuild the program. Returned 8 starters from last year's team, and they were 124th in the FBS in scoring. Last year, 17.8 per contest, tied for 114th in scoring defense, allowing 33.4 points per game. But this game is being played in Reno, Nevada. You've got a new regime. Look what just happened with the Lobos here. They just about beat a 13.5-point favorite and Georgia Tech bit a favorite earlier today. So, Christian, you're the guy who can do a pick on this game. Where are you going?
I'm going to go real simple out. It's 27.5 over. SMU is a newly ACC school. I think they're going to want to send a message, and I think they're going to drop 50 tonight. So I'm taking that covered spread of 27.5 easy.
So you've got a 9 o'clock West Coast kickoff for the last game of week 0. Hawaii gets visited by Delaware. Delaware State. Who knew? I didn't know there was a Delaware State Division I football team. So, sorry about that, everybody at Delaware State. Hawaii, known for their offense, not necessarily known for their defense. I looked back because I don't see that much of Hawaii even on the West Coast because those are late games even for me. I mean, sometimes those games end way past my bedtime. If you're on the East Coast, good luck staying up to 3 a.m. to watch the end of that one. I looked at Hawaii, and here's something that jumped out to me. They generally don't beat anybody big. They score a lot of points, but they allow a lot of points. Last year, they played a team called the Albany Great Danes. I've got to get a T-shirt now that I know there's a team called the Albany Great Danes because I kind of collect T-shirts from oddly named small school teams like the Trinity Trolls. Anyway, they beat the Great Danes 31-20. I'm sorry, not impressed. The Great Danes are about as good as Delaware State. Hawaii just is not ever very good on defense. And here's the problem for me. If Hawaii scores 49, this line is 40. Delaware State just needs to score a touchdown and a field goal, and you lose on a 40-point spread. It just seems a lot. Now, Army beat D-State 57-0 last year in the second week of the season. But Army plays defense as well as playing offense. So Rainbow Warriors see defense is optional, so I'm going to take D-State in this game plus the 40. David.
Yeah, I'm on the other side of you with this, Lou. I understand that Hawaii doesn't usually beat people bad, but they also never play anybody quite this bad as Delaware State.
Well, hang on. They played the Great Danes and only beat them by 11.
Well, I mean, you got the Delaware State. I mean, they played North Carolina Central last year. They lost 55-14. They lost 35-7 to South Dakota State. They gave up 51 points to Connecticut, Central Connecticut. They lost 62-20 to Miami, Ohio, 38-6 to Richmond. I know you already mentioned the 57-0 to Army, but I know you mentioned not too familiar with the Delaware State football. How familiar are you with Bowie State?
Oh, not a lot.
Well, Bowie State beat Delaware by double digits. Delaware State by double digits. Campbell beat them 34-7. Morgan State beat them 37-7.
I know they stink. I get it, but I'm just, for me, it's 40 points in the first game of the season. It just seems like a lot. But you know what, everybody?
I would lay it up to 42. I'm on Hawaii in this one. I think Hawaii.
David Delano, by the way, is much more on fire than I am right now. So if you're going to take anybody's advice on this game, take his. I'm on the other side of it because it just seems like a lot of points. Kristen, your thoughts on Hawaii? I know there was a couple things that jumped out to you.
I'm leaning towards Loud's predictions as well. I think Delaware covers the spread on that because Hawaii has a lot of concerns for me with position changes. Their number one wide receiver, Tylan Hides, is moving from running back to wide receiver, and their left tackle, Kua Piafoba, was a defensive tackle for a majority of his career and only has 2 games in high school as a left tackle. So with all the position changing and with the way Delaware matches up in the run game and the pass defense is compared, I think they cover that 40-point spread easy.
All right. Well, there you go. That's Christian's thoughts on that late game as well. So those are the only 2 games to talk about that are later than this show tonight. we will have a lot more games to talk about as the college football season progresses. And of course, on NFL Sundays, we will be on at the same time. We'll be talking about all the NFL action that happened earlier in the day. And of course, we'll be talking about our predictions for Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football on this show, Betting in the Break, which is going to kick off at about 4:15 on Saturdays and Sundays. David is going to come and go. Christian and I will be here every Saturday and Sunday night. Sniper Wes is going to join us most NFL Sundays. We might get the Steamroller in here. We might get Chris in here. Some other folks from any of the networks connected with Winners and Winers, and that's how it's going to go down for the rest of the season. David, final thoughts, anything NFL preseason tomorrow?
One thing I'll point out, just kind of going back, I know both of you guys like Delaware State since we're recording this live. I would say if you do like Delaware State, I think that maybe live betting might be an option. I think that Hawaii at some point is going to be up early. And if you like Delaware State right now, I'm seeing it's like 39. I think that
wait till that number. If Hawaii, I see your strategy. Let's say Hawaii runs off 24 points first. Then that line's going to balloon to like 50, and maybe that's the time to grab it.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, exactly.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I do live betting in hockey a lot because what I look for is does the underdog team score first? And if underdog team scores first, then the odds come way down. And I will then jump on the favorite, believing that they were the better team all along. And I've done pretty well with that strategy as far as live betting in hockey. Haven't done a lot of live betting in football, but I am going to be looking more at it because, again, I came up with a strategy that was very effective, live betting in hockey. And you're right. That's a great way to go. If Hawaii runs off a bunch of points early, then grab that line. Of course, you know, people don't always think the right way about this stuff because they're thinking of you know, your average Joe or Jane bettor is, oh my gosh, Hawaii's already up 28-0. I don't want anything to do with that. Well, that hasn't changed the basic thinking that went behind it. I mean, so they're up 28. All Delaware State has to do is score 10 points. And you're probably not going to beat 50. You know, they'd have to score 61 for you to lose at that point. So great thinking, David. And that's why we love having you on here. By the way, everything at Winners and Winers right now, 30% off. So anything you want at Winners and Winers, you can get expert picks, you can get bundles. And by the way, this is the time to get those season packages early. I don't know exactly what yours are going for, David, but you can get a season pass for me for like $499. Take 30% off. And when you're looking at a single best bet costing $29.99 behind the paywall, if you are going to be serious about betting the season, go to your favorite expert. And by the way, my combined numbers are about 65% overall college and NFL since I've been with the network. And I know yours are going to be similar or better. So if you want to do better in your betting, and that's what we want to do here is make you a better bettor, then go get some advice from people who do this for a living. And you're going to be better off buying a season package and getting all those bets all season long. And you can get NFL only, you can get college only, you can get both. So now's the time. It's 30% off. And that's what you can get over there at Winners and Winers. All right, this has been Betting in the Break, live edition, first time. Thank you, everybody, for being here and joining us the rest of the season. David, thanks for guesting tonight. We hope to have you around a lot this season, especially with your expertise in obscure college football. You know all, and man, if you want to bet on a team you don't know any, Louisiana Monroe or the Green Wave or any of those teams, David is the guy to look at. And by the way, that's a very successful strategy go pick the lower tier games because those are the games that the books are not paying the most attention to. So that's where your opportunity really lies. Christian Giorgiani, thank you very much. This has been Betting in the Break on Winners and Whiners.